guys, Eli here. Yesterday I fished one of my favorite lakes in Northern California, Lake Oroville. I probably caught close to 30 fish, all on one specific technique, and that was the A-rig. I like to throw a light wire finesse A-rig. I caught tons of spotted bass and even a really decent sized largemouth. Right now the place is just setting up phenomenally. I mean, the water temperature is 52 to 53 degrees. There's bait fish everywhere. The bass are spitting up shad, every single one of them. I had sushi all over the deck, and it's a really great place to fish right now if you just want to go out there and catch numbers. And I really want to show you guys this one specific technique that I use, the A-rig. It's a finesse light wire A-rig, and I love to utilize it for spotted bass fisheries just like Oroville. And I want you guys to check it out, and hopefully you guys can utilize it as well. Well, here it is, guys, the fancy A-rig that caught them all yesterday. This right here is the Blade Runner Airhead finesse light wire A-rig. One common mistake that guys do for these spotted bass fisheries like Berryessa, Shasta, Oroville, they use a too thick of a wire, and it doesn't allow the A-rig to breathe when you pulsate it with your reel or jerk it, and that's very critical when you're fishing these kinds of fisheries. This right here is a 0.035 wire, so if you use this for big bass, Clear Lake or stripers, they will tear it up, but this is perfect for what we're fishing for. I like to, this specific time I used 1/8 darter heads on both sides, and I like to run a little bit heavier center jig head because that allows it to swim correctly and to be perfectly balanced. This was a 3/8, and that allows this thing to just run perfectly. I don't know if you guys noticed, instead of running dummies, I like to use blades instead. I feel like with spotted bass, oftentimes you get a lot of short strikers, but this just allows to give a different presentation with a lot more flash. I fished right after the rains, and there was a lot of muddy water coming in. It was cloudy, so I decided to go with gold blades. You could put size 2 or size 3 gold blades. You guys could buy these at a Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's, and it just gives a little bit of different profile. It really allows it to shine. For when I fish tournaments, if I'm going to a spotted bass fisheries, usually I like to put a little more fancier heads. Instead of these, I just got these at my tackle box. I use these for my tubes. I'd like you guys to show you, these are Lost Coast Pirate. These right here are just beautiful jig heads that you can use for spotted bass. You can see these are 1/8. This is, I think this is a 3/8 as well. So if you use these guys, this is the real deal. But I usually say these for tournament day because these are a little more pricier, but they definitely look a lot more better. I mean, beautiful. The bait was tiny. I mean, they were spitting up shad that were 1 inch to 2 inch, so I utilized 3.3 Kitex. I just want to show you guys some of my favorite colors. This is the Pro Blue Shiner. This is the color that I use. Some other ones you could use as well as shad or aloe. The water was fairly clear, so I went with natural colors. These guys, they don't give, they're kind of a little, you could say a little bit see-through, so they give off, they're perfect for clear water. Once it gets a little bit dirtier, I will put more solid colors. Like this is the French Pearl. This is a really great color as well. When the water is muddier, this is my go-to. But when the water is clear, you want just a more natural presentation. So that sums up this right here. It's a beautiful light wire that allows really to pulsate it. Now let's go over to what kind of setup I'm using to throw this A-rig. This right here is 15-pound Flora Clear P-line. I really don't think you need to go any heavier. This is spotted bass fishery, and 15-pound is decent. With it being a lighter wire setup, it's not too heavy. I'm throwing it on the Stealth Sticks Pillager. This is a really beautiful setup. I mean, this is just perfectly balanced for exactly what I need. This is just a Daiwa Tatula and 15-pound once again. This is just, it's dialed in, and I know this is my confidence setup, and that's what I go to whenever I'm in a pinch, and I just need to have a dialed in setup. That's what you need. I wanted to jump back to the day that I was catching him. It was in between storms. I'm sure you guys know that we had a storm this past week, and it's raining right now. It was a nice little kind of warm front coming in between storms, the full moon, and it was a perfect time to check out Oroville because I haven't been there in a while. And what I was looking for creek channels that had water flowing. And I've noticed during the morning a lot of the fish were up shallow, feeding right where the water was running off. But as the sun came up closer to the afternoon, 9, 10 o'clock, those fish started going down deeper. And once the sun fully came out, I noticed they were around 30, 40 feet. So I would toss out my A-rig and kind of let it sink all the way to the bottom. And then there's a few different methods that I like to fish an A-rig. You can kind of give it a few cranks, kind of let it pop up, and then I would let it drift down. And I noticed a lot of my bites were, when I would pick it up, I was almost yo-yoing it. It would pick up on the fall. That's when they would hit it. That's why it's often critical to have a little lighter A-rig. That fall rate is just what they're looking for. Also, you're less prone to snagging, and there's a lot of stuff you can snag on Oroville. I mean, the whole environment, the landscape. There's a lot of underwater trees everywhere, and it was honestly about setting yourself up in a creek channel that was deep enough, that had 30 to 40 feet at least, with shad stacked up into it. And then if it was wind blown, I almost knew that there was going to be a school in there. So every single time I would just fire it out there, let it sink to the bottom, and slowly yo-yo it back, give it a few cranks, and almost just lifting it and letting it fall. And they would just smoke it. I mean, it was almost every cast. I had 7 casts in a row and 7 fish. I went through a few boxes of kite sacks just because those things they're not that durable, but they are fish catching machines. And that just sums up a really quick finesse A-rig that I like to throw for spotted bass. If you guys have any questions, check out my Instagram, NorCal Angler. Please like and subscribe, and appreciate you guys watching. Have a good one.